mm, mm. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. What's up, man? Or gal or lady, whatever you are. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't care how you identify. I am just glad that you are here with me this fine video time to learn how to draw. Let's draw together. I'm Seanzy. I'm your host. I'm going to get my other little doodad here set up because they get very persnickety about the time. About the time. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Hope everyone's having a great day. It's me, your host, Seanzy, and I'm here to teach you guys. Or I guess we've kind of already gone over the lesson for this week. You know, first-person perspective is a pretty easy subject matter to detail, but there's a lot of nuances in it to first-person perspective. So what I thought would be kind of fun is with today's video, instead of just having it be me talking a lot at you, really just kind of hanging out and drawing just something completely made up live on the spot, so that you can see just how I use the principles of first-person perspective. Excuse me. How I use the tools and some of the techniques that I've already taught. That way I'll be able to revisit a few of the things, and we can start to see how all of these concepts integrate with each other, so that as we're drawing from our own imaginations, we're able to start, oh, okay, well, I've been here before. I want to first start with a horizon line, and then I want to build maybe a building. I've kind of already thought about what I'm going to draw tonight, but I don't exactly have a plan. Well, I've got a plan to execute it, but I don't exactly know how it's going to, finally come out. But basically, the idea is, as we're thinking about the art creation process, we want to have fun with it. We want to, understand what the objective is in our mind, what we've thought about, and then how do we put it down onto the paper. So a couple of announcements at the beginning of the class. So I am still raising funds for the Texas hotspots for schools across Texas, just to try to give some of our underprivileged or less fortunate students some access to the internet. More information is available through my Instagram page, or will be linked to the bottom of this video once it's time. Second announcement is I do have a website that I'm putting together that's going to kind of tie all this stuff together, as well as give some resources in terms of what types of paper I'm using, what type of markers, what type of pencils, watercolors, pigments, paints, and everything else like that. You will be able to interface with me through that, aside from the social media channels, the YouTube comments or the Instagram comments, things like that. So if you have questions, or if there's a specific part of a technique that you want to revisit, hey, shoot me a line. I want to know, because I really would like to be able to help everyone where they are in terms of, helping their own art path and art career. So that's my ask. Other ask is that I am also working to codify the Let's Draw Together with Seanzy into a more specific Instagram presence and YouTube presence with the website. That way they're a little bit more in alignment, rather than having my personal channels for YouTube and Instagram be involved. That way it's more specific and dedicated, because ultimately what I would love to do is, the original mission for me is, and it's still going to be the mission for this channel and for this episode, for all these really, is to simply spread joy, spread the joy of art to other people, help them with a little bit of the madness in the world, but also help them to just learn some observational skills. How do you see what you're seeing? What are you going through? So, to keep up to date, make sure that you are liked or subscribed to this channel. If you're on YouTube, hit the little bell so that you can get the notifications for when new content is coming out. I am doing these live sessions every Tuesday and Thursday for the indefinite future. because, you know, at first I thought that I was going to run out of ideas, right? I thought that like, oh man, yeah, well, yeah, you just draw a face, and you draw a head, and you draw a body, and then, you know, then you put another couple of bodies around there, and now you got a scene, and, you know, what's the big idea? Like, who can't do that? Then I realized, like, man, you know, there's so much to it. Like, there's just so many different topics that we can visit and continue to visit and revisit and visit from different angles. And so I realized that there's a lot of rich, you know, that this is a deep well and reservoir that we can work through together. And I'm really excited that you're here. I'm glad that you're here with me, so that, you know, I can help you, and then you can help me, and then we can grow together, and hopefully stay a little bit saner through quarantine and whatnot. So let's see. Now let me get into my next section, which is tools for success. So with 1 point perspective, I am going to be using a lot of straight edge work. So not like the mid 2000s sobriety movement, but more like a metallic or wooden straight sided object. That way I can have my focus point, and then I can work out from there to create the straight lines to build my objects. So I've got these bad boys, or girls, or zers, whatever. And now I've got my charcoal pencils. This is going to allow me to make some pretty nice dark lines here. In a real drawing, not to say that this isn't a real drawing, but I do need to be able to provide enough contrast on the paper so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. So I am using some charcoal, maybe a little bit darker than I might normally go, but it doesn't matter. So I've got some charcoal pencils. I've got 6B, 4B, 2B, and then I've got a charcoal white, which will basically take me back to a hot, Kelvin hot white spot in my darks. So I've got that. I've got my handy dandy eraser. Boop, I got my kneaded eraser, which allows me to change shapes of my eraser. I can do all kinds of different cool things with that. These are nice and fun. I've got my pencil sharpener. If you were here with me on Tuesday night, I forgot this thing. Actually, I recognized what it was. It was another little kneaded eraser that's about that size. And so when I first looked down at my desk, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there it is. All right, got it. No need to worry about that. But I will use a nice catch cup. This is a recycled or repurposed yogurt container. Those of you who know me, or those of you who don't know me, I love yogurt. I like to mix in little jams and jellies into my yogurt, just because it adds a little bit of flavor, adds a little bit of body to it. You know, sometimes you can put fresh fruit in there, but then you wind up with these artifacts afterward, and it's like, well, you know, I can recycle this, or I can use it. You know, I've got some watercolor pigment in there that's hung out. What I'm going to also then use is a pencil sharpener, so that I can have a nice pointy edge and catch that and not get charcoal all over my floor. So now moving on, this is different paper than what I used last time. I want you to see, you know, maybe it's a little bit brighter, maybe it's a little bit lighter than the, maybe it's a little bit brighter, maybe it's a little bit wider than the newsprint paper. So that way we're going to get a little bit more contrast between the darks and the lights, and I think that that's okay. But I just wanted to show you how that texture difference. This is hot press, so it's smooth paper. Generally, when you see hot press, it's going to be smoother paper. This is 400 pound. I guess maybe, no, it's not. It's a little bit thinner. It's 300. And then you've got cold press, which tends to be paper with more texture to it. You'll see a lot of watercolor artists use cold press paper, because what that does is it allows you to have a little bit more texture for the paint to go into. And you can get some nice like white sparkly paper that comes through. So at any rate, that's kind of it for announcements. So I hope that you are buckled down and ready to, let's have some fun with perspective. Okay, so let's see, which one do I want to get here? I got my 2B. Or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of great misfortune, to die, to sleep, no more. That's Hamlet. Okay, So first thing that I'm going to do is just kind of decide a horizon line. This is my definition, or basically the eye line for me, myself, as the observer looking forward. And I've got kind of in mind a funny scene that I want to portray. So I'm going to start working on that. And as we hang out, we'll get some commentary. As I get some, more people on the line, if anybody wants to, drop a message or leave a comment or just, tell a funny story, that would be great. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I want to make my termination point, let's say right here. This seems like a good place. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a city scene. Today came an announcement that a lot of our friends in New York State and the surrounding areas are going to be sheltering in place for another month or so. Really, I think that the entire country should be required to shelter in place for quite a long time, just so that we can get through this pandemic, epidemic, whatever it is. And, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be bad if we have to wait, say a week or a couple of weeks longer than we really want to. I think that it'll be all right in the long run because, safety first. It's good to have people be alive, because if people pass away, well, then that's not good because then they're not there anymore. A lot of people have friends and family and neighbors and art instructors and jiu-jitsu coaches and all kinds of different things that they could be. So, I want to make sure that they are safe. You know what? I think what I need to do, I don't like that. So I'm going to reset. I don't know why I'm whistling the Looney Tunes. Maybe because I feel like a Looney Tune. Who knows? I like that better. I can already tell I like that better. Okay. I'm going to do a few different tricks today. Okay, so already you can start to see my vanishing point and where my perspective is going to be. Slap that sucker down here. I'm actually going to even do this. Oops. Yeah. kind of what I thought about was, you know, New York City is such a great city. And some of my favorite people live in New York. And it's just, it's a shame that they're having to go through what they're going through. So I just thought, wouldn't it be fun to, just kind of make up a cityscape, something that's reminiscent of New York City, big buildings, skyscrapers. Maybe take that back behind a little bit. Do that. Start to trick the eye a little bit. Yeah, I got a lot of neat people in my life who live in New York City, and I know that things might be a little worried there. One thing that I hear that they're doing, which I think is so cool, is in the evenings, what they're doing is they go out to where the EMTs and medical professionals and everybody who's, doing this corona thing, putting their lives at risk, they're, just cheering for them, and I just think that that's so encouraging. I'm just incredibly encouraged about that, that people are able to come together and, support these crucial people in our economy, in our world. These people are risking their lives, families' lives, children's lives, for people that they don't know. And I think that's pretty impressive. How many people are willing to do that? And I can say, me, I'm not one. I'm not out there risking my life. I guess sheltering in place isn't the most fun, but what am I complaining about? I've got internet, and I've got move that over. Internet, and I've got all the canned water that I can drink. That's really what I was worried about. People were worried about toilet paper. I was worried about like sparkling water. I don't know, maybe that's a little silly sounding, but it's like I drink so many of those darn things. Drink so many of those darn things throughout the day. It's like if they come out, the CDC or somebody says that those things cause cancer, I'm going to be in a bad way. I'm going to be mad about it. I'm going to sue Topo Chico, first of all, because they're the ones that started it. They started all this business. It's just not fun. Yeah, starting to come alive, hopefully. What up, what up? So let's see. So I got kind of a curve looking thing. Maybe I can add another little street here. And oh wait, oops. My bad. You know what? I'll just leave it. And I'll take this part out, because I can do that. I can improvise. I can adapt and I can overcome. You know, Bear Grylls would be proud of me. Like, wow, Sean, way to go. You've really done it. Oh. I think if I ever met Bear Grylls, I would try to fight him. Not because I don't like who he is. I think he's a pretty neat guy, but just because, you know, the man was like special forces and things. So you can imagine he's got some, he could throw some hands. You know, he could do some damage. I just think that'd be kind of fun. Like, hey, you know, you're going to the water cooler or whatever at work, you know, 6 feet away from your coworkers. I'm like, hey, what'd you do today? And it's like, well, you know, I read a report and I got on a conference call and, you know, I did this and did that. Like, what'd you do today? Well, threw hands with Bear Grylls. What? Yeah, man, he tried to fight me. You know, we were fighting over the same, you know, canteen. And he decided to square up on me. I said I wasn't going to have that, Bear. And so we went at it. That would just be hilarious. I would, you know, if I did that, you know, not going to lie, I would probably try to have that put on my tombstone. Here lies Seanzy, the man who tried to throw hands with Bear Grylls. I just think that would be hilarious. Oh my gosh. Huh? Okay. Coming right along. Am I getting kind of an illusion of depth? I hope so. I hope so, for my sake. I'd be a bad instructor. It wasn't working out for me. Oh well. That's the fun thing about this. You know, at the end of the day, I am still doing this for fun. So if it sucks and I'm having fun, then did I really lose? I don't think so. That line goes there like that. Okay, there we go. Happy little accident. Probably should get a new one of these big old rulers. Not having this cork on there is kind of tough. It's crazy how steep some of these angles can get. Okay, let's see. I should have that out here. Oh well. How's everybody doing tonight? Want to leave a comment? Let me see how you're doing on my spectators. Spectators. Hope everyone's doing good. There we go. It's a little curve action for us. Okay. Sidewalk going here. As you can see, I mean, you know, all I'm really doing is using that same termination point and using that to just start to build my space. And, you know, the further down it goes, the shorter these vertical lines look, the more sheer buildings are going to be. Now, the interesting thing is this charcoal is really putting lines down the same width, same thickness. If I were to start toning this thing, now I'd use different weights of line. And the closer I get, the heavier the line's not going to be. So I'm just going to do that. The hell with it. See what happens. Ooh, doesn't that look bad? I think that looks bad. Looks like it's rounding a corner. Oh well. Okay, change that up. Just want to put some clouds back there, and then I don't have to worry about it. Secret. Artist secret. If you're doing something you don't like, just put some clouds up. Kidding. That's a terrible idea. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm starting to build the storefronts or building fronts or whatever. Trying to get most of these lines to agree. They don't all have to agree. I mean, just as I'm building out. Go. I should have been a little bit taller. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Yeah. It's a subtle difference, but it makes it look a little bit more even, I think. See that? Yeah. So what I'm kind of doing here is I'm starting to establish the levels of these buildings. And I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories, maybe that I'm going to try to illustrate. Some of these are going to be a little bit taller. So like a building up here is going to be 6 stories. 7. There we go. So again, this is 1-point perspective. So when I take lines over, I need to make sure that they're staying level on one side. I think already some things that I noticed about this drawing is I made my viewer, probably should have moved out my sight thing. But ultimately, I think that the illusion still holds true. It's not too terribly bad. Kind of bizarre. Okay. Well, yeah, probably wouldn't be that thick of a building anyway. We'll just do it like that. There we go. We got a building here. There we go. When in doubt, erase it out, you know? There we go. And put some taller buildings behind it. And that looks fine. Okay, so I basically got my exoskeleton of what my original idea is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some reference points in there because what I wanted to do is like show I wanted to do a couple of different things with this drawing. So normally if I'm drawing people with this line here, I'm going to draw people basically at the same horizon line. So wherever that horizon line is, that's where my other people are going to be. If someone is up here, they're either going to be like really big or really small. So I'm going to just kind of draw a couple of different shapes. Make it look kind of like a crowded city. You know, do some of my stick figure action. So you can already see like I'm getting some action here. And I'm using the same tools that I taught for drawing the figure to draw these people here. So I've got my shoulder line, my hips, my ribs, which are the upside down heart, and whatnot. But see, I thought it'd be kind of fun in this drawing to do something that's a little bit more surreal. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to have like a giant person walking down the street. So I'm going to make a giant person here. And let's see, where's my giant person going to go? They're going to go there. And they're in between these buildings. So here. And there we go. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, there we go. This is going to be funny. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Oh man, this is fun. Okay, so now I've got my giant person that I'm going to start to build out. What I'm going to do is use my same tools from last week. Let's see. Actually, I need to change this guy up a little bit. He needs to be going this way. And that way he can be reaching down for one of these people. This one is, he's going to be finding himself like that. There we go. Ha-ha. This is going to be funny. Okay. Okay, there we go. And there's that. There. He's going to have this leg coming forward. This leg's going to be going backwards. All right. So I'm kind of trying to stay as true to the horizon as I can, but I'm planning it. And one of the reasons why this breaks the illusion of the horizon is obviously because I've got these other references. I've got these other people who are like, oh no, what's going on? And they're going to start to run away and try to get away from this guy. This is funny. Okay. Here we go. Now we're cooking. And see, this is the fun thing. So, just by having these basic rules, I'm able to draw these buildings. Now I can get this guy in here, and I can start to create this illusion of this giant monster man. Let's see, that doesn't work. Create this illusion of this giant monster man coming down, Main Street, and he's stepping on people or stepping on things. People are running away from him. I think that's kind of funny. I got some forced perspective on here so that he looks like he's really coming big at the people in the crowd. So I'll give this guy a little exclamation point. Like, he's shocked. Let's see. He's got his hands up. Maybe he just dropped something. Maybe he just dropped his groceries here. And his hands are open, indicating surprise. So this is the fun thing about Express. Oh, you can't see that on Instagram. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So hands open indicates surprise. If they're clenched, that means they're focused. A little body language storytelling there. Draw a little butt, legs. This person's running. Turning their chest. Trying to look up behind them. Let's see. And there we go. Okay, cool. I'm happy with this so far. So we got this guy, and I think that this guy needs to be holding on to somebody else too. There needs to be a little person in his hand. I don't know what this says about me psychologically. Maybe this is Corona personified, and it's got its grips on New York City. I don't know. If Governor Cuomo wants to call me up and be like, yo, hey, man, you can't be making that kind of art, I'd be like, man, free country, homie. Even though this is really designed to be a tribute to the people of New York. What's up, JP? So I'm able to, really play with this perspective and trick the mind into seeing this kind of vehicle or this kind of concept because, I've done a good job of creating the skeleton to reference this thing in. So let's see. There we go. I'm going to shorten this guy out. What's going on? You know, these charcoal pencils are interesting to work with. They do cause a stain, and I'm not quite so used to that as I might want to be. This one's dull. I'm going to get a little harder with my 4Bs. So let me go back here and add some more details. Oh, that's a weird door. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. It's for fun anyway. Maybe one door is open. Create a door frame. There we go. I'll erase my reference point there. Now, there's actually a technique to doing windows in space or any sort of thing that's evenly spaced apart. Typically, windows are evenly spaced apart in a building. What you do is you got to start with one, you know, just like with Lincoln Park, you know, it starts with one. So you got to put your idea down. Let's just say the window. Let's just say one window is going to be here. Okay. Now, I'm going to draw an X from here. Oops. Oops. Wherever that line is my next step. Wherever those lines meet is my next step. So if you ever draw telephone poles or things that are pretty consistent in space, you want to make sure that your angles are staying true. So that the illusion stays the same. Now you'll wind up with a lot of line soup, which is why I kind of didn't do it earlier. If I fold it up, you can see a little bit better. There you go. So you start to get a little bit more consistency in the shapes. But I figured, you know, doing that for now is kind of fun. Okay. The story is going to be more consistent if everybody's hands are pretty much doing the same thing. You know, so that's the interesting thing. Human beings, when we look at each other, we look at each other's hands, and we look at each other's eyes. So if people have an expression like this, you know, it's like, oh, man, they know something's up. They are in trouble or something bad is happening. But if they, you know, if hands are relaxed, then, you know, nothing too much to worry about. If hands are tensed, you know, like relaxed hands are just kind of neutral looking, you know, whatever. Tense hands are small. So if you see somebody who's got like a real tight hand, it's like, man, they might be not happy right now. And if they're walking at you and then their eyes, you can't see them really well, and they got a little thing like this, they're probably on their way to punch you. Not that you necessarily want that. You know, probably don't want to get punched. Unless you deserve it. And even if you deserve it, you know, it's not like you want to get punched either. I'm gonna just, this is the coronavirus personified, and I'm gonna make this coronavirus kind of stylish. I'm gonna give him 3/4 length checkered shirt here. Three-quarter length checkered shirt, maybe a little bit of a cash that out here. And hat. I don't know about you guys though, man. I miss getting haircuts. Oh my gosh. I miss getting haircuts. I need a haircut so bad. I get these like cowlicks in the front of my hair. Kind of drive me crazy. You know? It's just, boy, wouldn't I love to have a haircut right about now. This is too much fun. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I thought it was going to be fun, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't have done it. But it's kind of fun to, you know, see it come alive from the idea. You know, that's the other part about art is that, you know, when you're making it and you're able to make it. I gave myself some super trap stuff. Just get some clippers and buzz it all. Well, yeah, I could do that, but then I'll look like, you know, not. I don't know. Probably, yeah. I'm just making excuses. You're right. You're right. All right. So I'm here. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm wearing shorts, so he's gonna wear some shorts. Let's see. I'm wearing slides right now, so he's gonna wear slides. Big old toe. No. It's good. And you can see, like, you know, I can go through different stages of refinement with this drawing. And, you know, when you're having fun with art, you know, the idea is to really just let loose and have fun. I mean, you know, you're going to come up with lines and you're going to come up with shapes that don't make sense right away. But just keep going. You know, see what you can make of it. You know, if something really just doesn't work because it doesn't read well, erase it, start again. But just keep with it. You know, see what you can do. You know, and if you need to learn how to draw a part of the body that's coming, you know, looks like it's coming more forward at something, you know, then there you go. There's your next thing that you can work on. So I don't know. I thought this was kind of fun. I hope people are having fun watching. This guy's a bicycle messenger. He's got one of these brims that folds up like that. That's what it is. Yeah, there we go. Shocked look. Maybe he's got a goatee too. He's shocked because he's got a goatee. It's 2020. If you have a goatee in 2020, I don't care. I'm just giving you a hard time. Doesn't matter. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing just fine. We got about 10 more minutes. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm doing? Any particular techniques that they want me to talk about or go over again? Anything like that you want to see? If not, that's okay. I mean, I'll keep going till time. But if you do have questions, just let me know. Speak up in the comments. That way I can, I want to make sure that while we are together, hanging out, having a good time, drawing together, that I'm available to be a resource to you if you need it. I think I'm going to make this person a woman. So let's see. And give this one an undercut because she's cool. She's trendy. Give her some cool glasses as well. She's shocked. Undercut's going one way. Some boobies. Give her some pants. And let's see, where did her hand go? Her hand's right here. This guy, nice round mouth, open mouth expression. This is kind of, maybe I watched too much Ghostbusters growing up, I guess I should have done that. I should have watched some Ghostbusters to get prepared for this video. My nose doesn't really look like that. My nose is a little bit more bulbous. There we go. Now he's coming around. He's happy. He's spreading joy through terrorism. Not terrorism. I probably shouldn't say that. FBI, if you heard me say that, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. It was just a joke. Just trying to be funny. Let's see. He's gonna. That looks okay. So there we go. We're gonna get Mr. Hipster over here. Are hipsters even a thing? I mean, did we all just kind of age out of hipsters? Or do they just call us millennials now because we're not like unique? Now it's the Gen Z kids. Like, is that over? Did I miss it? This sidewalk needs to be wider. So the thing is, you can start to understand the body in space too. Like the knees are going to follow. Like for this guy, he's going to look more real in space. if I have the same constant points at about, following the same height distributions, right? So just because this leg is nearer to me, it's also lower to me. A bit of a backside. Legs. Knee here. Just coming off that curve. Got his messenger bag. Maybe he's on the phone. Maybe that's why he's stepping off the curb. There we go. He's jawing about, something else. He's not even paying attention. Like, he's mad. He's not even looking. Like, hey, man, forget about it. He's got no idea. These people know. He's over here like, no, man, the package is too heavy for my bite. What do you mean? Now, that might break my narrative a little bit, but I think it's funny. And because he's a hipster, he's wearing those 3/4 pants. Because he can. There we go. Yep. Yeah. How are we doing? Is that looking real? Is that looking like a guy's running down the road? I hope so. Kind of fun. Anyway, this is how you have fun with perspective. You have to follow certain rules to give it depth. First and foremost being where you set that horizon line. That's going to be where your eye is. In this particular instance, I kept the horizon line on the page. You can also go wide off the page, either side, especially as we look at 2-point perspective. That's what we're going to do next week. Next week, I'm going to focus on 2-point perspective, which is taking the ideas of 1-point perspective and going out. It's almost like you're looking at the corner of something and you're able to see around the corner. This is the beginning of an idea of 2-point perspective right here. But really what this is showing that it's flush. If I had an angle going backward, then it would show that. But there's other tips and tricks in terms of how to integrate 2-point perspective that are going to be a little bit different. But anyway, so that takes us to time. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This was having fun with perspective. Like I said, I'm here for you guys. This is really my treat to get to do this, to spend an hour with you Tuesday and Thursday nights. I'm drawing for you, drawing with you, here to answer any questions that you might have. If you're on YouTube, I'd love it if you would hit that subscribe button. Help me out there, grow my audience a little bit. That way I can help more people learn how to draw. And if you did get some value out of it, hit me up with one of these thumbs up doodads as well. If you're on Instagram, well, thank you. Thank you for joining me. I do have the new Instagram coming out. It's Let's Draw Together with Seanzy, Seanzy, just like the channel. But other than that, guys, I will see you next week, Tuesday, bright and, late in the evening. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Thank you so much.